Maybe you are feeling socially isolated right now. And this is a new circumstance for our generation, but it was not for the pioneers who settled in Edmond just 130 years ago. I'm Amy Stevens, and I'm the director of the museum, and I think that we have an exhibit that's very relevant to this topic. It's about Elma Childers. Elma came to Oklahoma during the 1889 land run with her husband and her baby, and 1 month later she wrote a letter to her family from a tent. And it's a powerful letter that describes her land run experience. She describes how the folks gathered along the river and on foot and on horses, and that they were waiting for that noisy cannon shot at noon. And she talks about her tent with its 2 beds and a table and a cook stove outside. But she also describes the loneliness. And she said, "I'm lonesome, awful lonesome." You see, her husband was gone during the day and sometimes overnight, leaving her and the baby alone. And she wrote to her family, "You think you're lonesome sometimes, but if you want to know lonesome, move away from your friends to a new country and be by yourself all day long." All she could do was dream of a time when she might have a real house again and a church might be built in the town, and that she might one day see her family again. Our current situation is unlike any other in human history, but those feelings of loneliness are not unique to humanity. We're fortunate we have television and computers and phones that allow us to see each other's faces, a way of human contact that poor Elma certainly didn't have. But I think the take-home message of this is not to say that we shouldn't feel sorry of ourselves because Elma had it worse. Instead, I think her letter gives us some clues that we need to be encouraged. Because like Elma, she knew that she would eventually be surrounded by more people, and that she would eventually see her family again. She would eventually go to church again. And she did have a way to communicate with people through letter writing. So if you're feeling lonely today, please take heart from Elma, because we know by looking back at land run history, in just a few months, Elma was surrounded by a functioning town that had a church, and that she started to feel normal again. And we can relate to that. If you would like to read Elma's letter, or if you have children that would like to do a letter writing activity, please visit our website at edmondhistory.org for those resources. You know, the value of history and saving it is because we do look back at the past and glean encouragement from the people who have gone before us, especially during difficult times. And someday, a whole generation is going to be looking back to this time in history to see how we dealt with our difficult time.